I do not understand how somebody like Shaquille O'Neal never improved his free throw shooting. A multi-millionaire, a superstar player. Ever since he got into the league, he was the man. 20 million a year, whatever he was getting, whatever the max contract back then, he was getting it. All the legends of the game at his disposal. He could have worked with Jerry West. He could have worked with Michael Jordan if he decided to. He could have worked with all the greatest shooters ever. He could have worked with them to improve his foul shooting. But he never did. He always remained a crappy free throw shooter. Ben Simmons, what's he in the league now? 5th, 6th, 7th year in the league, whatever the hell it is now. Still shoots poorly. So poorly that he's out of a job right now, basically. If he just improved that one skill, he'd be an absolute superstar of the game. He already is, in many rights, a superstar. If Shaquille O'Neal, just picture this, if Shaquille O'Neal improved his free throw shooting, oh my God, he might have, I don't know, he could have been the greatest of all time. Like, think about it. He was the most unstoppable guy in the history of the game. Nobody could stop such a monster of a man. He had all the moves around the ring. The only thing you could do is foul him. Imagine if he had the ability to hit his free throws, like 80% of them. I just do not understand. That's like me being surrounded by John Hack, Ed Cohen, Klokov, Lou, Tian Tao. They're all in my room, right? They're all hanging out when I'm training. They're all around. And I can't improve my sumo deadlift. I just can't do it. Okay, Shaquille O'Neal is massive. He's a humongous human being. But when people say, oh, he's got really big hands, I remember a few years ago when Toronto won the NBA Finals, Kawhi Leonard put his hand up against Shaquille O'Neal's, and they had the same size hands. You can't tell me that it's because of his massive hands that he can't shoot. Man, I would learn how to shoot a freaking tennis ball, right? That's a small thing for me. Enough practice, you would get it. So when it comes to skill-based things, I can't grow like Shaquille O'Neal. I can't dominate people like Shaquille O'Neal. But when it comes to free throw shooting, like fully a skill-orientated movement, there's just no excuses, man. There's absolutely no excuses. So right now, today I did 10 sets of 5 of sumos. Why? I'm just shooting the ball, man. I'm just shooting thousands of free throws to get my skill up. Obviously, my max for the sumo should be higher. There's some sort of deficit there. It's a new skill. I need to learn how to use it. I need to learn how to use my body in that particular plane of motion, that movement. There's just no excuse. If you are weak enough, I get it. You can't change that overnight. You can't change that. You got to drink some milk and sleep a lot and maybe come back in 3-4 years' time and you can maybe then put on the skill, put on the strength. But when it comes to skill-orientated things, just practice, man. Practice. Keep practicing the perfect form. It just occurred to me today, like I decided to do 10 sets of 5 at 120 kilos. I think a week ago now, maybe a week and a half ago, I pulled 210 kilos with the sumo deadlift. It was basically a conventional wide stance. It was really poor, but I managed to pull that weight, right? And I'm thinking to myself, I should be able to pull more in the sumo if I just kind of worked out the technique, worked out what I need to use in that position. So I said, screw it. Let's do 10 sets of 5. I used 120 kilos, which is it's around 60% of 210, whatever, rough maths. It's just higher than a 50%. So that's basically just skill. So if you're somebody that's like, oh man, I can't get into these positions, I don't understand why when it comes to barbell sports, people are like, oh no, you can't practice too much, man. You're gonna overtrain. No, man, I'm not talking about using 80%. Just, you see a lot of Olympic weight lifters. Like that's pretty much the only sport that you see that in. Guys are spending they're doing 30, 40 reps with the freaking broomstick, right? Like they're just ingraining the movement. But when it comes to powerlifting and all that kind of stuff, strength-oriented sports, like powerlifting, strongman, all that, it just seems like, I don't know, to me, in my perspective and people that I've talked to, it's like, 5 sets of 5 is enough. It's not enough, man. If you're learning something brand new, you got to put the time in. You got to put those hours in. You got to put those reps in. I made a video a few months ago where I said it's a reps race. It's honestly a reps race. You just got to learn the technique. And then once you've kind of mastered the technique, then you can start moving 80% weight. But until you kind of master the technique, until you are using the right technique, there's no point loading it up. I would say that it's a very high chance of injury if you loading a weight, loading a barbell and moving it incorrectly. That to me scares the crap out of me, man. Honestly, when I hear a lot of people talk about injuries and stuff, I'm always like, man, I don't know. To me, alarm bells go off in my mind when I'm doing something and it doesn't feel right, or when I record it and I'm like, oh, that looks wonky as hell. Alarm bells. I don't know how people just load it up. Of course, you can muscle a weight up some sort of way, like completely around your back or do something. Of course, but it's not about the weight. It's about the movement. The weight is just basically a tool that you put on top of yourself to challenge the movement. It's not about the actual bar. It's about you. You are the thing that we watch. We don't watch the barbell move, man. We're just watching you, how efficient you are in that movement. And we look at the bar as a reference guide to see, okay, he's really good at that movement because there's a lot of plates on the bar. So somebody that's moving one bar on the squat, or one plate on the squat, we're like, okay, he's not really good at that movement because look at the bar, it's freaking empty. But when you see somebody squatting 6-7 plates, you're like, that guy's really good at squatting because look at that weight, right? So it's kind of like the product of your efficient movement. So if you want to get really good at the skill-based portion of the movement, you just got to practice it, man. Just practice it. I did 10 sets of 5 today. I'm 120. It took me a little bit of time, of course. But if I'm gonna get good at this sumo thing, I gotta work on it. I'll be the first one to say it's not fun, man. I'm sure Shaquille O'Neal, would have much preferred go to the club, go to the pool, go like in the off season, in the summer, of course, man. He's a multi-millionaire. He's got a million things going on. He's got to shoot commercials. He's got a life. He's got kids. He's got a wife. He's got family. All these type of things. And I understand, the NBA season is very, very busy, man. They sometimes play 4 or 5 games a week, man. It's packed. So you don't have a lot of time for family and all this other stuff during the season. And so I get it. A lot of people in the off season are like, screw it. I'm gonna catch up with my friends, with my family, go on this holiday, go on that holiday. But the greats, right? I always talk about it. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, all these type of characters, man. They came back every season with an improved skill. Of course, they took a couple of weeks off, but they don't take freaking 3 months, 4 months off. They work on their skill. And I just wonder to myself, like, if Shaquille O'Neal just, worked on his skill, man. Then every year, like Ben Simmons is plays for the Australian team, right? So yeah, I followed him quite early on. And I used to love how he used to play, like in the first season. He used to remind me of LeBron, man. This big guy running the paint. He can pass with the left, pass with the right. He's got a wonky shot. And I always thought, man, he's one jump shot away from being a superstar. Like I'm talking LeBron type of superstar. And every year he would come back and not improve that. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing in the off season, man? Just, if you're not doing anything, I get it. But when I see kind of like videos on social media of the guy putting up shots and doing this, like working out, I'm like, hell yeah, next season he's going to come back, he's going to shoot 70, 80% from the line. Watch out, no one's going to stop him. He comes back, he's shooting 30% from the free throw line, 40%. You're a damn point guard, man. What are you, like, what? I want to speak to that coach. I want to speak to the trainer. I want to speak to I want to have a family meeting, man. What are you doing? This is the number one skill you should be working on, man. It's such a glaring deficiency. You got to work on it, man. Put 1,000 free throws up every day, man. How long would it take to put 1,000 free throws? Well, if you've got a full freaking club behind you, I don't know, it takes, 2 seconds to put up one shot? Times that about 1,000. I'm sure it's doable, man. I've heard about Ray Allen and Steph Curry putting up thousands of shots. Why can't you do that, man? You don't have to shoot 90-95% like Steph Curry from the line. But dude, if you shoot 70, 75, all of a sudden you can't do a hack a Shaq on Ben Simmons. You can't foul him because he's going to make 3/4 of the damn shots, right? I don't understand. He's also a professional, like I keep saying it, he's surrounded by legends of the game. What do I know about shooting, man? Some of these guys like Jerry West, like a very successful GM in the league. Man, you name it, there's been shooters everywhere. You can employ anybody. Give them whatever. Teach me how to shoot. Oh my God, man, like Shaquille O'Neal played for the Lakers, man. Think about that. How many greats play for the Lakers? Man, I don't know. Like, you know, he played for Kobe Bryant, and Kobe Bryant's there putting up 1,000 freaking shots a day. And what's Shaq doing? I don't know what he was doing. What are you doing? You don't need to lift weights, man. You're freaking 340 pounds. You don't need to lift weights. You just lean on somebody and you crush them. Work on your weakness. That's the stuff I was thinking about today when I was doing these 10 sets of 5 with the sumos. I'm like, it's a freaking glaring weakness, man. Like, I can move 260 with conventional. Man, at least sumo should be 260, right? So there's a skill deficiency there. You know, the muscle is there. I think the muscle is there. You know, I look at my adductors, I'm like, that's plenty of meat there, man. I should be able to do this. But my body's, you know, unfamiliar with this movement pattern, with this position. I'm very weak at it. And so what do you do with that? 10 sets of 5, 1,000 free throws. Let's go, man. Practice it. You know, I remember the day I got my squat rack, man. Oh my Lord, I was, you know, putting those bolts on, and I was like happy as anything. I'm like, man, I'm gonna practice every single day. I'm gonna be an amazing bench presser, deadlifter. Like, these are the thoughts I was having. I had access now to practice every single day. So even though I wasn't squatting every day, I was messing around all the time. And like, one of my favorite things to do is just go lay on the bench in the squat rack, watch videos, and like try these things out that people are talking. I'm not working out. I'm just messing around. I've carried this squat rack to all the houses that I've lived in the last like not even 10 years now, 7 years. I carried it everywhere, man. It's the first thing that I do, man. The bed's ready, the kitchen's ready, the kids are ready. Bang, squat rack, bolt that shit together, let's go. I gotta have the bar, man. I just don't understand. I don't know. Maybe Shaq didn't care. I mean, I don't understand how you can't care, man. Like, he could have been the greatest. I remember there was a video. Man, there was a video of Kobe Bryant talking about Shaq. And he said, if Shaq worked as hard as me, he'd be the greatest of all time. The greatest of all time, man. This is Kobe Bryant saying that. Who is going to stop him? I remember Kobe saying that. Oh, man. Hack a Shaq. To think about this guy played, what did he play? 15, 16 seasons in the NBA. 16 years, and he never developed a sumo deadlift. 16 years. He never developed a free throw shot. Wow, man. That only means one thing to me, man. Only one thing. He didn't practice. Ben Simmons. You can fool everyone, man. But people that know, they know. You are not practicing free throw shooting. You're not. People say, oh, you might have a mental health issue. Mental health issue. There's no mental health with the freaking elbow pointing at freaking perpendicular to where the ring is, man. That's not mental health. Bring the damn elbow in, point it towards the ring, man. That's not mental health. Your elbow is pointing the wrong way, man. You can't shoot that way. You got to point the elbow towards where the freaking thing is, man. Mental health. It's got nothing to do with mental health, man. Who are you kidding? Man, if you just... I would develop a brace. So I'm a multi-millionaire. I would develop a freaking brace that will lock that elbow in, pointing towards the ring. And I would just say, shoot the ball. Throw the ball. I don't give a shit. If it goes over the backboard, into the stands, if you shoot it 2 meters, you know, in front of the ring, I don't care. We're shooting 1,000 damn free throws like that. With the brace, forcing you and your elbow forward. And just shoot it. Man, and this is the thing. I am not an NBA great. I am nothing in basketball. I could imagine what Jerry West was telling Shaq. Jerry West, man. The logo. What do I know about anything, man? So this is what I'm thinking to myself. These people are surrounded by absolute greats. The only explanation is they don't give a shit. They don't have the work ethic. Simple as that, man. It's simple as that. If you don't have the mobility for ATG squats, you're not working hard enough, man. Oh, my hips, my femurs are 55 meters long. Man, don't give me that, man. Everyone can squat ATG, man. Everybody. Unless you're a freaking retard. If you have like a retarded body and you have like crazy hips, and all these experts are coming out measuring millimeters of depth of the neck of femur and anti-version, retroversion, 55 meter version. Man, get off, man. You can't touch your toes. You can't do splits either way, forward or side, and you're telling me about something retroversion. Your muscles are stiff, man. If I strip all of the muscles off your skeleton, what do you think that skeleton's going to be able to do? I've seen plenty of skeletons models through nursing school. You can get that freaking femur and touch the damn head, man. There's nothing restricting it, right? So Don't give me excuses. Oh, my hands are too big. Man, get the hell out of here, man. Put up 25,000 shots during this summer. Come back to me and tell me about your hands. Kawhi Leonard's hands are just as big as yours. He's shooting 85. Boban Marjanovic. What's he? 7'6". His hands are bigger than freaking the court. He can shoot. He shoots like 80%. Marjanovic. The guy from Dallas, man. He's a giant. He's much bigger than Shaq. Yao Ming. What was he? 7'7", 7'6"? What was he shooting? He wasn't missing, man. My hands are too big. Get the hell out of here, man. I'll go big famous. Don't talk to me, man. I don't want to hear that. Go practice your free throws. Catch you in the next one.